Name confused by Enchanted Nightingale. Chapter 59. Desert Heat. There had been information about a group of higher-ranked officers pillaging equipment and stealing from locals. Normally, Mycroft would not have sent his assistant for this job, but he decided that Sergeant Benjamin Price should join the British Army stationed in Afghanistan. He had tried to send another, but the results of the venture had been unfavorable, as in, his agent failed to get in with the right crowd and failed to pinpoint the persons responsible. Since the matter was of great importance and he really did not want to waste more time, he decided his assistant would have to be the one to fly over there and get the job done. Mycroft's purpose for sending his overly qualified bodyguard/agent/secretary a duel: 1. Root out the bad apples. 2. Complete his espionage mission and get the files Mycroft wanted undetected with none the wiser. Spies, the man who was the British government, had many. MI6 was practically at his disposal. What he needed was better than the average spy, though. Usually, spies stuck out to normal soldiers, and he needed someone who could blend in, someone who could convince the rest of the deployed soldiers they had at the region that he was a veteran on his third tour there. The matter, both aspects of it, was delicate, as was the handling it needed. It was why the green-eyed wizard was currently in a convoy moving from Lashkar Gah to Camp Bastion, dressed in military gear, carrying weapons, and seated at the back of a truck accompanying medical personnel and medical supplies, as well as accompanying a humanitarian aid. The heat was unbearable, and Benjamin was not above to use magic. Besides the fact that someone could see him produce a stick or wonder why he was not bitching about the heat like the rest of the group, to make himself more comfortable. If there was one thing that he had learned during his training in Muggle military, it was to tough it out and not choose the easy way. Also, he was the only Benjamin in his squadron. There were 5 Matts he was on nodding terms with, 25 men named John that he knew of. It was a fun task trying to tell them apart, and an equal amount of Georges, men and women this time. He was familiar with many of the group, including the medical team. One in particular was John Three Continents Watson. He was an army surgeon. He was of average height, blonde hair, cropped short, but not a buzz cut, tanned skin, and an easygoing smile that went with his flirting skills. He was a bit shorter than Benjamin, but he was muscled and fit. One thing he quickly learned about the good doctor, besides the fact that he was on his second tour in Afghanistan, was that he was a womanizer, and that his nickname came from the fact that he had slept with women from 3 different continents. There was also a 4 continents George, a nice brunette woman from Yorkshire who boasted of her round-the-world trip during her gap year. George and John had a bit of a competition going, nickname-wise, but otherwise were excellent doctors.
"I hate the heat,"
came the complaint from Benjamin's right. There was a collective groan. John, not again," was the exasperated reply from 4 Continents George.
"Thought it was my turn to complain,"
John replied with a grin thrown away. The nickname for this John came from his model-like looks. They had tried calling him Ken, but there were 2 others with said name, and things would get confusing fast. "Just quit with the complaints already," John Three Continents yelled at them. "Focus on something else."
"The scenery?"
Benjamin suggested.
"We could count camels, or rocks, or dust, sand, and clouds,"
John snarked.
"There's plenty of dust and sand, and no clouds."
"Well, next time pick Hawaii for your vacation, Ponce," 4 Continents George quipped.